Let's go. Appreciate you. Episode 4, baby. Man, we got a lot to talk about, man.
What's up, fam? Elevate Media.
Yep.
It's episode 4 already.
Episode 4, man.
Time flies by.
004. Got a lot of shit to talk about. A lot that's going on.
All right, fam. So we got about, 8 topics?
Yep.
So today we wanted to talk about President Donald Trump and the subpoenas and the journalist issues over Air Force One. Then there's the Trump accounts.
Yep.
We wanted to talk about, and then big fight tonight.
McGregor.
When was his last fight?
5 years ago.
5 years.
That's in
After a
2021.
5-year hiatus when he got his ass beat by, was it Dustin Poirier?
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting to see, what McGregor we get. I mean, we've seen this guy's videos. He's on yachts. He's partying. He's doing his thing. It's going to be an interesting fight. I want to see the old McGregor back, right?
I'm old.
Glorious old Conor McGregor that, you just never knew what was going to happen. Your eyes were glued to the TV every time this guy was fighting. But I think he's lost, 3 fights in a row. And he needs a win. If he loses this fight, I think
He's done.
I think he's done.
He's 37 years old. He's, made a lot of money, but we'll get to it.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. I'm just so pumped, man. I can't wait to get drunk as hell and watch him fight, man.
Yeah. So we'll definitely get into that. And then we've got NIL, name, image, and likeness, and how that's, I think, ruining college sports. It's just been the wild west over the last couple of years.
Well, Nick Saban been fucking at the Supreme Court, at the court, like, yo, stop this.
Yeah. So, Devontay, you want to tell the squad what you wanted to talk about?
Oh, yeah. Conor McGregor, obviously. Nolan Wells. Everybody know what's going on with Nolan Wells. Young kid, athlete. They try to make this a whole race thing again. Everybody picking sides, jumping in conclusion, but we're going to talk about Nolan Wells in that situation. We're also going to talk about what else we have. Yeah, pretty much. I think we went through all the time. Oh, UFO, aliens. You're going to definitely be talking about aliens because we don't even know what the fuck is going on. Because, to be honest, I think it's going to be fucking... We already have aliens here, apparently. And I don't want to... I would say... I call them Transformers. I call them Transformers, man. I call them Transformers. So we're going to see, man. We have a lot to discuss, but aliens is the number one topic, and we have a lot to go through. So when Doug gets back, we're going to start with the Trump accounts, and then we're going to move forward to the plane, and then we're going to get right into the UFOs, man. Because I believe in aliens. I'm sure all you people believe in aliens too, but we're going to get to it. Get into the nitty gritty and keep it going, man. Keep it going. And this is our 4th podcast too. Obviously, we don't have microphones right now. We're working on that. We're gonna get microphones. We're gonna get vocasters and all that shit. System where you can hear our voices quite clearly, and so you can hear us better. But we winging it. We just doing it. We take action. We attack it. We don't have the supplies, but we're going to just keep pressing, and then we just going to keep growing. All this stuff is about growth. When you start something, you always going to learn and always try to progress from there. So always try to do better. We always try to fucking work on trying to, grow this channel and try to get the right equipment to,
Always focus on elevation, right? Just because you don't have the tools for you to take the next step doesn't mean you can't take the next step, right? So,
exactly.
Devontay, you want to start us off with the first topic?
Oh yeah. So we want to talk about the Trump accounts, and the Trump accounts is really important. I have a kid on the way. He'll be due pretty much, hopefully next week. And as soon as my kid is born,
Baby Luca.
Yep.
Baby Luca.
So.
The Trump administration has launched a new program called Trump Accounts, right? So it's the key feature that's being promoted here is $1,000 investment by the Treasury Department for any child that was born between January 1st of 2025 and December 31st of 2028, right? So this is big. I mean, I haven't seen anything like this ever happen. But I think it's good for kids to see what compounding interest can do for their investment accounts, right? So,
Well, he obviously cares. Like everybody call him a racist and all this shit, but he actually cares about Americans. He want Americans to have babies, kids. We don't need to rely on fucking open borders and all these illegal immigrants coming here and having kids or birthright citizenship. Pass the fucking American Save Act, goddammit. That's all we need to do. Pass that American Save Act. We're gonna work on making sure our elections is fucking safe, so then American citizens can have babies and then enter the Trump accounts. I'm sorry, Doug. I just went off for a second.
But Trump accounts, if you register on the website, you can have $1,000 invested into an investment account. I think the Treasury Department has partnered up with Robinhood.
Yep.
But guys, I did a simple calculation, and $1,000 invested when your kid's born, and let's just say the market returns 10% on average every year for 18 years, that $1,000 would have turned into $5,000.54 roughly, right?
Mhm.
So the market fluctuates. Some years it's up 10%, some years it's down 20, some years it's up 30%, right? We don't know. But on average, the market has returned about 10% a year, going all the way back to World War II, right? So that's without any contribution. So if you're a parent, you can contribute up to $5,000 in these accounts, right? So, 1,000 in 18 years turns into 5,000. But if we're doing simple calculations here, let's just say that each year you put away, let's just say you max it out, right? So you start off with 1,000, and then let's just say you max it out every year. Assuming the market returns 10%, if you start off with $1,000 and you put $5,000 into your kid's Trump account each year, assuming a 10% return, there's going to be $207,000 in your kid's account by the time they're 18 years old. And just think about what that 18-year-old can do with that money, right? They can use that to go to college if they want to. They can use that to start a business if they want to. They can use that to buy a house and have probably half of it paid off if they want to. There's just so much your kids can do. And that just teaches our young people the concept of compounding interest and what investing in the stock market can do for their futures.
Exactly. And also destroy communism. Because all these kids, all these fucking liberals out there in New York, California, that wants to destroy civilization from what I don't know what the if you look at an average liberal, right? And I'm not saying fucking because a lot of Democrats, and I have family members who are Democrats, but they're not any of these people. They're nothing like these people. They are conservatives through and through. If I tell my cousins you are gay, they'll fucking like curb stomp my head on the curb, like all the fucking like they are way different from the average liberal. And so when it comes to man, I'm sorry, I just went off. I got pissed off. No, but really it teaches the kids, it'll set your kid up, right? He just said 200 something thousand, whatever, and entrepreneur and all that shit. But with all these liberals talking about, oh, everything's expensive, oh, blame the parents. Or a lot of those kids are rich as hell. A lot of those kids are, silver spoon. We don't know. But there's something going on with everybody talking about affordability. But the people that be like, oh, everything's expensive, everything, we can't live in here, we can't live in today's society. And I was like, either, like I always said, either you have a spending problem, or you a silver spoon communist, or you just want to fucking destroy civilization. That's all I can say, man. But yeah, man, like me, I'm setting my kid up in the Trump accounts. I'm gonna make sure I set my kid up, put as much money in as possible each month. Try to set him right. And so, yeah, I like this topic a lot, man. And you can download the app too. I already have the app downloaded. So as soon as he's born, I actually have his social security card and birth certificate, and then move forward from there and all that shit. So, yep.
I'm excited for Baby Luka. That's a great opportunity right there.
Oh yeah.
Any American.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I know there's times I go on these freaking crazy rants, man, because I get so fucking heated, man, because we are living in the most, like, we are so freaking privileged. I always wake up just so happy and excited to attack the day, man, and just so lucky to have an opportunity to work hard and make some. Because me, I'm more of a merit type of person, you know, because we play sports and shit. Like, the truth hurts, and when someone's better than you in a sport, it'll be shown, it'll be known.
Yeah,
like
you'll be
exposed real easily and shit. And so, like, even in business, even in everything.
Yeah.
But meritocracy is the fundamental key into fucking. And if you want to like this, if you want to like build wealth for your family and kids and stuff, the only way to do that is to compete and build businesses, or, you know, learn a skill that can generate a lot of money, whatever, like electrician or these trade jobs and stuff. But you can't do it with communism. You can't do it with DEI. You can't do it with all this bullshit handouts. That's why I hate, like, in sports and shit, man. They fucking like they even do like medals or anything, or first place, second place? Like, is it more like, because I'd be hearing
everybody wins these days.
Yeah, everybody wins. Like, that's terrible, man. I'm gonna tell my kid, like, if you don't win, man, you fucking log them, let them know, like, you gotta give
everybody gets a participation award. The whole concept of communism is a government that doesn't believe you have the ability to make your own decisions, right? And I'm just not about that, right? I feel that I'm smarter than a lot of these politicians, because obviously a lot of them don't know how to manage money, unless your name is Nancy Pelosi, but that's a conversation for a different day. But, you know, the whole concept of communism is one person or a government needs to make every single decision for their citizens. And that's completely against what America was founded on. Yeah. And it's going backwards, and our founding fathers are rolling over in their graves, just, you know, with all these politicians taking office, Mandani, AOC, you name it. Don't even get me started. But
I'm about to go on rant again.
God damn it! Before you start, let's go on to the next topic. What do we got next?
I can play the video real quick of the trumpet.
Yeah, let's play it. Turn the volume up.
American children, any child under the age of 18 can have one, but only babies born between 2025 and 2028, the years of Trump's second term, get $1,000 in seed money from the government. Parents can add their own money to $5,000 a year, and kids cannot withdraw the money until they turn 18. Joining me now from outside the White House is Vlad Tenev, the CEO of Robinhood, which is helping administer Trump account assets on behalf of the Treasury Department. Vlad, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate your time. So, tell us more about these accounts and Robinhood's role in this.
Yeah, so basically every newborn child born January 1st, 2025 onward gets $1,000 of funding directly from Treasury to kickstart their Trump account. And this is a brokerage account with no transaction fees that helps them build ownership, secure their financial future, and invest in great American companies. Robinhood is proud to serve as the sole initial broker and trustee in partnership with BNY to power the program. We have
Why did Obama do this? If you want to sit back and think about the last presidents that's like ever had this thought of setting future kids up, and everybody praised Obama, everybody praised these fucking Democrat politicians and shit. Like, why haven't they thought of this? Why don't they like fucking do something like this if they really truly care about the kids and shit, or really true about the Americans? They don't do this shit.
I think most of the presidents we've had recently are just not very educated when it comes to economics, and and investments, and so this is a win-win for all Americans, right? So you've got the kids winning, and they're investing in U.S. companies primarily, right? Your Nvidias, your Teslas, your Apples, right? So great American companies. So these kids are getting a head start in their investment accounts, and they're watching these companies grow. And then at the same time, these companies are getting investments, right? So as these kids or these parents are investing in these companies, and that's really good for these companies' stock portfolios or stock positions as well. So it's a win-win for everybody. This is great for Americans.
For everybody, or do you think Democrats are like you say, a Democrat voter with Trump deranged and shit? Do you think they actually gonna set their kids up for this type of shit?
Well, I think if you have Trump derangement syndrome, no. But at the same time, like, do you hate Trump enough? Do you hate Trump enough for you not to take $1,000 of free money? So to me, that doesn't make any sense.
They hate him so much they don't want him.
So to me, that's crazy. That's crazy. You're dealing with irrational people at that point, and it's not even worth me talking to you. If you're struggling and you're not gonna take $1,000 for free, like, I don't get it. Like, something wrong with you. It ain't even worth my time me talking to you.
Dude, I am so worried about these freaking parents that are having kids and then Trump deranged. Can you imagine a Trump deranged parent? Can you imagine? Like
That's too bad.
they probably going to these schools like I'm looking for a teacher who will teach my kids about transgenderism, all that shit. Do you guys allow boys and girls sports here? Yeah, we do. Oh, I'm sending my kid in there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I guarantee they're not doing this shit.
Yeah.
I might ask my cousins who's having. I might ask my sister. She has a boy in the morning. I might ask her.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be like, hey, set your kid up in. Matter of fact, I'm gonna text her ass.
Yeah.
I'm gonna text her ass. I'm gonna be like, hey, you know, if you set your kid up in the Trump account.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think he did it on purpose to piss liberals off. Oh man.
Oh, that's fine. We're gonna move on to the next topic. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the Air Force One, the sick plane that just dropped because the plane was gifted by Qatar. Qatar didn't gift no plane to Biden or Obama. Why is that, Doug? Why is that?
So you just said this plane is what, $400 million? That's how much it costs.
Yeah.
And I think when it comes to Trump, as soon as he took office, a lot of world leaders were like, well, we need to show this guy some respect.
Yeah.
Real quick, we definitely need to. We're coming from Biden here. This guy is actually aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
This guy, if we don't treat him well, he will come after us. Right?
Exactly.
And so we've seen this time and time again with Trump, and he just wants to be respected, right? If you respect him, he's going to respect you. And I think this was Qatar's way of saying, hey, Trump, we respect you.
I'm sorry.
We would like to work together in a unified way to, make sure that, we're being diplomatic when it comes to, our talks, and we just want to be at peace. So, Monty, you want to show him the plane? And
Oh yeah, here we go. Bro, that is so freaking sick.
so that is a cool plane. But in the meantime, Trump is building 2 new planes. So he's having Boeing build 2 new Air Force One. So the issue here is there's been some subpoenas for a few New York Times journalists. And there's recently been some securities concerns involving the new Air Force One program. And the move has triggered a familiar debate about where the line is between leaked investigations and press freedom, right? So you've got all these reporters that were saying, oh, this plane that we got from Qatar, it's not safe, it's not up to Air Force One standards. Well, I mean, they took the plane, obviously, they renovated it, they gave it a new paint job, and it looks great. This looks a lot better than the old Air Force One. I mean, Air Force One had that like teal blue and
baby blue bullshit.
And this is America. Like you see that in the sky, you know it's Air Force One.
Mean
right?
business, that
right? And look how big it is too. But anyway, there's been some leaked press reports on security issues on Air Force One and Trump flying the old one for a couple weeks, and so.
Well, ever since the because Iran was like talking about assassination, try to attempt assassination plot or whatever. So they went back to the old Air Force One while they still try to renovate and do. The only reason why they went back to the old Air Force One is because the old Air Force One still has its all the gadgets and gizmos pretty much to to make sharp turns and all the safety. All the shit they need. While the new Air Force One is still installing the new capabilities and installing new shit.
So it sounds to me like this is more of a luxury plane. I think they have made renovations to make it safe, but this isn't a permanent fix. This is a temporary fix, right? And Trump is having Boeing build 2 new Air Force Ones that are up to the standard when it comes to protection and security. So. I think people are overreacting. I get that these are very tense moments, and was it Reza Pahlavi that they buried in Iran? Or?
Not Reza Pahlavi. Khomeini.
Yeah, Khomeini. So during the Khomeini funeral, they were screaming "Death to America," and I'm sure that's got the Secret Service on very high alert there, but. I think overall, this is a safe plane, but they just wanted to make sure that their I's were dotted and T's were crossed there.
Yeah, and because one thing is like when you hear these people talk like cheering out "Death to America," and you elect a mayor like Madani who's trying to meet with the Iranian government. That's the one big thing. They canceled Marco Rubio, stopped it in the bud. This like 2 days ago. Mandani and his people, Mandani's people, not Mandani himself, but you all know. And they try to meet with the fucking Iranian government and shit. But when you hear people, and I'm not saying all Iranians, because 80 and 90% of Iranians hate the IRGC. But these are like in Iran, those are liberals. Like in America, we have our liberals. That's their version of liberals who also.
It's in Iran. It's about 20% of the population, maybe. That's very extreme when it comes to their views on the West.
Yeah, I mean, IRGC hate us. Like they don't really fuck with us, but we don't fuck with them either.
Millions of people are now gathering here in the streets of Tehran. The body of the late Supreme Leader is right there on a truck being brought through the streets of this city. We're going to see if we can get on top of this fire truck to get a wider view of the crowds. They seem to be letting us. The truck is moving very slowly through the streets of Tehran. Because of the crowds, just a sea of flags and crowds and all of the activity. This is a ritual of mourning, but it's also a political rally, a way for the government to show that it is still in charge, that for many Iranians' perspective, it won the war despite being attacked by the United States and Israel. There are millions of people who think the free such a city, according to organizers, it may be one of the biggest public funerals anywhere in modern history.
All right. You know what's kind of crazy about this? How CNN always had access to the Iranian government. Why is that?
Not only that, but he said they won the war.
That's what every losing country thinks, that because they gotta tell the people that they won, right? Because they don't want to lose control of the population. They don't want to seem like they're weak, even though
where's your military? Where's your
underwater?
Navy? Where's your Navy?
Underwater.
Where's your Air Force?
Underwater. And like the whole RGC military is there's two militaries, right, in Iran. There's the Iran Revolutionary Guard, and then there's the IRGC. There are two completely different militaries, right? So IRGC is like more of a terrorist organization, but as a whole mobile military, right? And the Revolutionary Guard is like more of a on land police officers kind of in a way. They still have military trucks, but they don't really fucking they still take orders kind of
Yeah.
like.
It's like our national guard.
Yeah, exactly. And somehow CNN always have access. NBC, all the liberal news always has access to all of these Iranian like connections when it comes to doing a deep dive. Just like this guy right here. How the hell he got in there? Do you think Fox and Newsmax will be able to get in there? No. They only let in the people who's pro-Iran.
Yeah. Well, there's a narrative they have to protect, right? And so that's why.
And they brainwashing people. They brainwashing people.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
When you talk about Trump for 10 years, for a whole decade, and like Nancy Pelosi says, if you repeat the same thing over and over every day, you're going to convince some people, some dumbass retards, into actually believing it. In my opinion. And sorry, I you know me, man. I'm so passionate and I love this country and shit, but I hate when my own people, my American people, are brainwashed into believing this crap and thinking that America sucks when we don't, man. And we kick Iran's ass. We demolish them like it's not even a war with Iran. I call it like it's more of an excursion because I talked to a couple people who served the military. They so nonchalant about it. It was like the media hype things up in a way to make you scared. It is nothing what you think. We kick everyone's ass. We are really that military. There's nobody want to fuck with us. We could be over here in seconds. We could be over there in seconds. We over here. We over there. We nobody's making a move. And they said, and I'd be like, what about China? It was like, China, it ain't gonna do shit. And even so, Japan, South Korea, Australia, they have to deal with them. Russia's already getting their ass kicked by Ukraine. That war itself already sends a signal in China like, damn, if we attack, we have to worry about Australia, Japan, South Korea. North Korea ain't gonna do shit. They don't have no Air Force, they don't have no Navy. We don't have to worry about. All they have is bodies, right? And so, even if China has their somewhat technology or whatever, they can do all these ships. It's not really war ready because you have to make sure that your ships, your Air Force are war ready. They've been in a ringer kind of way. Mm-hmm. It's like you build a car, right? Yeah. And it's like you can't have that car out. You can't sell that car right away. You have to do a lot of tests. You have to do a lot of maintenance. You gotta make sure the car meets standard. Exactly, meet the standard and shit. Yep. So, that's it, man.
But those are the safety concerns regarding Air Force One. Trump's been doing a lot of traveling, and there's been a lot of tension there in the Middle East. You saw there people screaming "Death to America" and people literally. Yeah, I forget the person. Somebody Trump is trying to negotiate was saying, they need to assassinate and kill Trump. So that's where all the safety concerns were coming from. That's why Trump's been swapping planes, and so that's where the praise see and just hopefully our reporters aren't leaking information that's gonna help our enemies.
So Trump is cold as fuck for saying, "Praise be to Allah."
Have reportedly called for the death of Donald Trump as they observed a multi-day state funeral for the late Ayatollah on the weekend. Events are planned over the coming week with 12 to 20 million people expected to attend. It's put a pause on peace talks between the US and Iran. Meantime, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has poured cold water.
And when they keep saying 10 to 20 million people, it's not 10 to 20 million people. I'm going to guess at least 1 million people. But you're talking about during the protests of Iranians against the RGC, they hired terrorists to gun down over 30 to 40,000 of this own civilians. a lot of people who are not. There's a lot of Iranians who are not like pro RGC because they're literally shot down and gunned their own people. And I always say this: if I see a government RGC that gunned down 30 to 40,000 of its own civilians just to protest against the government, I don't want them to have a nuclear bomb. I'm sorry. If they are willing to kill their own people, just imagine what they'll do to us.
I mean, they're literally screaming death to America. They're chanting it.
It will be
just like, okay, you give these people that want to kill you nukes. You let them do their thing and build these nukes and prepare, get stronger. It's like, that bomb is going to explode at some point, right?
Yes.
And that issue needed to be addressed right away.
Right.
He might not be the most popular president for addressing it during his administration, but it's better we get that taken care of today.
Yeah.
That doesn't impact our kids or our grandkids. And you don't want Iran getting stronger, right?
No. Because if they get stronger, then that's when China's going to be emboldened to make moves. All this shit that's going on, this is not about Iran. This is about China. Right, they're the number two. They're the top dog too. They using them like Iran is like our Ukraine. So they like we. I hate to say it, man. I hate that Ukraine's fighting this war and all that shit. But Ukraine is the proxy, right, to the United States, pretty much under the Democrats and shit. And China is using Iran for their proxy and shit, pretty much. But they don't want no smoke with India. India hates China, but it's so rude because they're part of BRICS, but it's only about the economics. But when it comes to borders, when it comes to military, India don't align with China. And just like China don't really align with Russia, this whole shit about the BRICS is so weird to me because it's more about because the reason why BRICS was formed because we hearing Democrats, especially Democrat politicians, when they hear men or women, when they hear that, no, seriously, I'm thinking of if I was a world leader in a different country and I hear the United States, who has the number one dollar, like the main dollar currency in the whole entire world, and I hear liberal Democrats, politicians literally saying, we're going to open up the borders, we're going to fucking meant to be women, all this fruity transgender type shit. I would be like, dog, we can't rely on these fucking people to keep their currency up. They're going to destroy everything. They're going to mute themselves, man.
Yeah, it's almost like Joe Biden and his administration. It was like a Trojan horse. If you ever seen the movie Troy, how they're having issues getting into Troy, right? They're having issues getting through the gate, and they create a fake gift. They create a horse, and then they put soldiers in a horse, and then the Trojans accept the horse. They bring it into their kingdom, and then at night, the soldiers get out of the horse and kill all the Trojans, right? I mean, essentially, the Biden administration was trying to do the same thing to America.
Yeah.
Just sellouts. But yeah, I can go on and on.
I can go on and on. But here it comes. We're going to talk about the next topic. UFOs, baby.
Aliens.
And so right here, that's going on right now. Trump just dropped the fourth. Let's see, I have it right here. Fourth batch of files. And there's a lot of 19 files. Let me see. I have it written right here. Fucking 19 videos, 20 documents, and yeah, they just dropping files after file with aliens. Do you believe in aliens?
I do. I think when you consider the fact, Devontay, that there are more galaxies in the universe than there are grains of sand on this planet, right? There's more galaxies out there than grains of sand on this planet, right? And we got a lot of sand, bro. We got a lot of ancients. We got a lot of sand, right? And to consider the fact that we have yet to be outside of our own galaxy, right? It's kind of, it's a bit, it's just kind of weird for you to think that there's no aliens out there, right? We haven't even seen the full universe. It's too big for us to see. And I think it just doesn't make sense to not think that there's something else not out there.
No, 100.
You know what I'm saying?
100%, man. And this is one thing I take, man. There's a few things I think about, right? When it comes to when I see these files and videos and all that shit. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to Joe Rogan when he talked to what's his name? Oswald, whatever his name is, who witnessed aliens and whatnot. You know, he got zipped up into to this flying saucer and had some plug up his ass, and he just, I seen aliens.
That's what he did. You saw him. That's how he.
Yeah, that's how you explain. Probably. Why is there always? There's something strange about these aliens kidnapping people and always plugging something up the human's ass. There's something about that shit that's I don't know what it is, like when they're testing humans, whatever, but when I hear stories of people seeing aliens and shit, I'm like, okay.
That sounds worse than prison, man. Damn.
I mean, it's like, okay, I want to see it, man, but
no, you don't. You don't want to see that. You want something shoved up your.
No, I don't want to get fucking beamed up in a flying saucer.
It almost sounds like you do.
Nah, man, so you better shut your ass up, man. You better shut your ass up. Oh, man. No, hell no. No, fucking, I was gonna say, like, when I hear people's stories and stuff with Joe Rogan brings in, when they talk about aliens and shit, they talk about the tall whites or whatever. There was a story, this tall white, the dude who was in the desert or whatever in Arizona, and he witnessed there was a flying saucer that crashed, and he went to the crash site. And the people call them the tall whites. And they got the cars, they try to approach, they see the flying saucer on the ground from miles away, and they just see this tall white dude start running at him, right? But he was running kind of weird and shit. His arms was flying like Woody from Toy Story.
Yeah.
And so he was like running and shit towards him, and then just stop and just like, I need some sort of metal. Got the metal he mentioned, like Corinthium or some shit. Cortland or some shit, whatever.
Yeah.
But that was the main. So when I hear that shit, I'm like, okay, that's their story. But I wouldn't believe them.
Yeah.
I just don't believe them.
Well, I mean, so there's that, and then you got things that are just like unexplainable, right? Like how did the Egyptians, 2,000 years ago, build the pyramids? You know what I'm saying? They didn't have machinery we got nowadays, right? You know, those bricks that they were laying down, those were like, you know, a ton of piece. Like those were like 2,000 pounds each, right? So I mean, there's just certain things that have happened throughout history that are just unexplainable. And it's just, I mean, there's got to be some sort of life form out there.
Even like the drawings you see like from way back in the pyramids, not in the pyramids, but in the rocks of in the fucking desert, whatever. You see these drawings of saucers and tall people, box shaped suits or whatever. Just like, I don't know, you see these weird drawings. Matter of fact, I'll get to it real quick. I'm gonna play this video. No, matter of fact, I'm gonna get to the part I'm talking about right here. Alien drawings from alien drawings and like when we see shit like this, man. Like, what is this shit?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
looks like some sort of ship, like alien ship or UFO.
it's like all these like fucking.
I don't know if that was real.
There we go. Something like this. So weird, man.
Yeah. So there's a lot in this world that's unexplainable. And, you know, I think there's something else out there, but you got this video.
Yeah, I'm gonna play a video with the little flying saucer and shit real quick. Like, what the fuck is that? That like these kind of ships, like it's like a swirl, but it's just floating. You see?
And so when was this video taken?
This is just one of the files that was just released. I don't know how long ago. This was in the southeast. This was in the southeast or the Hindu Pacific in Asia. What if China's fucking with us? What if China's like fucking with us, man? Because I always have this theory too. Like China is like fucking with us, and then they having us go crazy and believing that aliens are real. They probably like Kim Jong Un is not Kim. Is it Kim? Yeah, Kim Jong Un. The Chinese fucking government president, whatever. He is laughing their asses off.
I will say there is a way. I think the CCP has some sort of advanced technology that they don't want us to know about. And we might interpret that as UFOs or alien technology. I think that's definitely possible, but that still doesn't. It still doesn't take away from my belief that there's other life forms out there.
Ooh, that motherfucker took me off. But you know, there's like other ways too. What if like the Earth, right? Because this Earth is so weird. Because we have volcanoes and all this shit, like that can really break apart the world or whatever. If it, shoots up, if a volcano erupts. But what if on Earth, right? The Earth, the globe, right? What if there's like pieces of chunks of the galaxy from rocks and all this shit comes into Earth and started just acting weird in the sky? What if it's not aliens? What if it's just like part of this like gravity, Earth gravity, taking pieces of chunks of the galaxy that's making it look weird, doing weird shit in our skies and shit?
I mean, I'll just say I think the government knows a whole lot more than what we're giving them credit for. I mean, the fact that they have these files and the fact that they're releasing them like very slowly, like they've had these files for I don't know how long, and they're just now releasing them. They know some shit, saying, they're not going to tell us.
Yeah.
And so they feel that they think that we're ready for that info. But, the fact that they're releasing this slowly leads me to assume that, hey, they can handle this and we're just gonna, make them happy and just like release this. But they're probably holding on to, shit
That'll scare people to
Yeah.
buying toilet paper.
yeah.
When people want to start buying toilet paper, Doug,
Yeah.
as soon as they see some actual like photos and videos of like really like videos of spaceships, we can see literally what's around it, see the hover, see all of it. People won't start buying toilet paper, man. It's gonna be like COVID on steroids, man.
Mm-hmm.
All this shit is weird, man.
It is weird. And, at the same time, now that I think about it, Devontay, I don't think it's ironic that the U.S. government is signing deals with companies like SpaceX and saying, hey, we realize there's some life forms out there. We really need to ramp our space program up. And talk about Trump and his first administration having started the Space Force.
But Elon Musk doesn't even believe the aliens because he'd be like, oh, if they were real, there's some. Or unless he's fucking with us.
See, I don't know about that.
Unless he's fucking with us. Look at that shit. The fuck is that?
Looks like a parachute.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell what that is, but
Ooh. Saw that shit. Look how nice this shit is.
yeah.
Dog.
So, I mean, we live in a world where, you've got countries like China and Japan that have sophisticated technology. So they could be building something that we just aren't aware of, and we might just be, interpreting that as UFOs. But I still do believe that there's aliens out there.
Dog, China's fucking with us, man. I mean, our country, we are partially mentally ill in a way, but I think everybody's mentally.
Do you believe in aliens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe, man. I want to believe so bad, man, but I'm afraid of how other people's gonna react. You know what I'm saying? Because not a lot of people are mentally strong and stable to even take in such crazy expose like aliens and shit and all that shit. So I wouldn't believe. It's just when I hear people's stories and shit on other podcasts, I'm more like, okay, I want to believe. I'm like more like 70%.
Yeah.
70%.
I'm closer to 85%.
85?
But let's talk about sports.
Yep. Conor McGregor, baby. Woo! Fighting Max Holloway has been a revival. The last time they fought was 13 years ago when they were young, up and coming. Conor McGregor, pretty much, hit him. He boosted, like, he made, like, the UFC, like, Dana White loves him, obviously. And, like, if you see, like, Conor McGregor's documentary, Dana White was always in his, like, his sphere, like, when he's working out, training, always checking out on Conor. Because he's the one that catapulted the UFC to where it's at. He's the reason why the UFC got that ESPN deal, now Paramount deal. Because he fucking transformed the UFC. Because think about it, man, Irish, the accent, whooping ass, and he was calling out his fucking names and shit. Yeah, I mean that's the Irish stuff. You know what I'm saying? And
well, you look at Conor McGregor. It's a crazy success story. This guy was a plumber, right? This guy was a plumber in Ireland, and this guy was broke, like pretty much homeless. I think if I was right,
he was in debt.
He was in debt, and his wife was there, like supporting him the whole time as he was, working on his fight game, and then he just exploded, right? So, when Conor McGregor first entered the UFC, he had a lot of, he had a chip on his shoulder, right? And he had something to prove. And it was fun to watch somebody who just had that chip on their shoulder, somebody that came from poverty and became the biggest star in UFC history, right?
Yeah.
But something happened along the way. And I think a lot of the success Devontay got to his head. And I'll never forget, there was a moment in the movie, I think it's The Dark Knight Rises, right? Where Batman is fighting Bane. And, Batman's taking a break from, helping the city of Gotham fight crime. And Bane beats Batman, and he says, victory has defeated you, right? And I think that's where Conor McGregor got to. And he had so much victory, he had so much influence. He had all these people telling him, hey, you're great. He had all this success, he had all this money. And it got to a point where, like, he just wasn't motivated to, stay on top of it.
He was doing too many deals.
Too many deals, and he's promoting the whiskey, the proof proper 12.
Yeah, you need 300 mil off.
Right, exactly. So nothing wrong with having success, right?
It's nothing wrong with success.
I think it's very normal for success to get to your head. And then you kind of lose that motivation or that chip on your shoulder. Right?
Yeah, and his story is different than any other athlete in a way, because it's not like most athletes, they get success and then it gets on their head and then they lose or whatever. Like, okay, Floyd Mayweather, a lot of success and then end up he's still a success in sport, but he drained all his money and now he's bankrupt, right? He lost it all. But Conor McGregor, he was winning UFC, gaining a lot of success, started doing live deals, and then say, okay, I'm busy doing the business thing, and I lost a couple fights, but I'm too focused on the business and all that shit. And then he comes back, he loses and shit. He broke his fucking ankle, took 5 years off, comes back, and now he's fighting. But his success is a lot different because he's still doing a lot of things. He's doing the that knuckle. He's like part owner of the bare knuckle boxing company, whatever.
Yeah.
He has this Irish whiskey still. He's doing he has a suit business and shit too.
Yeah.
What
Well,
else?
so when you look at McGregor, the type of effect that he had on the UFC was similar to like, and I'm not comparing athletes here, but I'm saying what he did for the sport was similar to what like Michael Jordan did for the NBA, right? And I'm not comparing him to Michael Jordan, but I'm saying when Michael Jordan was playing, you tuned in to watch Michael Jordan because you never knew what he was going to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Same thing with Tiger Woods and what he did with golf. You might not be a golf fan, but you know if Tiger Woods is golfing on Sunday, you're going to watch because you don't know what he's going to do next, right?
Yeah.
So Conor McGregor had the same effect for the UFC. And hey, this was an up and coming sport, but this star, you don't know what's going to happen next. He might knock him out in the first 6 seconds, like he did with Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo was it, right? You just never knew what was going to happen. So he's the type of fighter and entertainer that just keeps you on the edge of your seat, that you want to watch every single fight and see what happens.
Yeah, and he was fucking inspirational too. Like when you hear Conor McGregor speak, like when he I remember just like playing his like motivational videos and shit, and you just hear like the things Conor says.
And he's so articulate with his language, so articulate.
Oh, he is so like he'll get you like pumped up, motivated to run in -3.
And he's good trash talker.
Yes, he's a good trash talker because he's so good at like the way like the trash talking, but then motivate you with his inspirational speeches and shit.
Yeah,
like he wins, and he's from Ireland, and he has that accent, and then like that's how like all that shit kind of evolved. I'm so glad he's back. He's 37 years old, took 5 years off. We're gonna see, man. I want him to win because I'm always a Conor McGregor fan.
but Max Holloway, he's
done so much, in 5 years off. I mean, he hasn't been punched in the face in so long. While Max Holloway was in the like BMF type
against the best.
Yeah,
you're talking about Gaethje,
Yeah.
Gaethje, and I forget what else did he fight for.
He lost to Eric Rivera, but
Yeah.
He's a grappling guru or whatever. But he Max Holloway, he was continue fighting. He's the top fighters in the world now, and is he gonna see? I love both of those. I love Max. I love Conor. This is gonna be a fight. Like these are like one of these fights that is like a legendary fight when you just like I don't care who wins. It's like I'll be happy with either one. But I really want Conor McGregor to win just because I want to see him continue to fight.
Yeah.
But if he loses, we won't see him.
Yeah, I hope he wins. I think it's going to be a great story if he's able to come back after 5 years and win. But if he loses, I think it's time for him.
He's done.
Like you got it, bro. You lost 4 fights in a row.
Yeah, who's gonna fight if he loses to Max? He ain't gonna go down to no scrum. He ain't gonna fucking fight no bum. He wants the money fight.
I mean, if he loses, this fight, he might go down and fight in Jake Paul, for $50 million a fight, which wouldn't be bad, if you're trying to make money. But yeah, man, I think he got a big fight.
The fact number 2 is nice too. He's fighting the special forces from France. They both killed us though. This is a really good name card. This is a good name card.
It says special forces from France.
Yeah, he fought in the special forces from France in Montana. Tier 1 unit. He ain't playing right now. He's a legit team.
Oh, he's a big one too.
Yeah. He's a really good. He done MMA. He said he trained MMA just so he can kill people. Kill people.
Some of these French fighters, man, this guy, facing Don and
So
what's starting up.
he took his shades off. Do that shit over here. Took that shit. Fuck you. He said, man, I'm done with this shit. Let's go. Let's go, man. Let's go. He said, enough of this. Let's fucking go. Got his belts. And Conor McGregor was the first UFC fighter to have 2 belts. Nobody wasn't thinking of having 2 belts until Conor McGregor did. He is the greatest of all time in UFC history, whether you love him or not.
You think Connor's the greatest of all time in terms of, I think,
The
when it
greatest.
comes to promoting
Yeah,
and selling a fight, I think there's the greatest, but I still think John Jones is a goat.
you're right.
You can't. John Jones is a bad
Coming
man.
to the year, and you're getting arguably the biggest pop.
I'm not getting the biggest pump, like biggest time. Nice. I can't wait to take those pretty belts off his hands. You didn't lay a glove on me last time. You're not gonna lay a glove on me this time. I think I got to prove it. And who am I proving it to? To myself.
You gotta have someone in between them. Because you don't know what to expect from Conor.
Yes, time, man. Even the heck. If we talking about drops, I dropped your ass with a high kick.
I want to.
Lost one from me. You have those 2.
I'm very won that.
Never said it on. What is in the future for you right now? Is there a 3rd belt on the horizon after Max? These belts represent every record in the fight business. I hold them all. So it's an honor to hold these belts. And for sure, the OG champ going for the Triple Crown. Sounds like one hell of a story to me. Shake it. Oh, my God.
Oh my gosh, this dude, man. You know, I can't wait. We want to see this one fighter. He's not fighting the main event, but his name is Steven. Damn, he's an American. He's an American Olympic wrestler.
But what are your predictions for this fight? You got McGregor, you got Holloway. What are you thinking?
McGregor easily.
You got McGregor. You got him going the distance, or do you got him?
My friend, his name is Lance Gamble.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see right here. Matter of fact, let's go to right now. Here we go. So, Conor McGregor, Max Holloway. Who you got? I'm gonna say Conor McGregor since you asked me already. My bad. Conor McGregor. I want him to win.
I want him to win, but I don't know, man. If I'm betting, I don't know.
Yeah, if you betting, okay, let's say this. If we betting, I'm going Max Holloway.
That's the safest bet.
Yeah, safest bet. And Benoit Dennis Paddy Pimlet. I'm gonna say Benoit. That dude he's a mean machine.
I haven't seen Benoit fight. I have seen Paddy fight on multiple occasions. He's a nice fighter. I think he lost his last fight.
Mm-hmm.
Who did he lose to?
He lost to
You don't need to look it up, but he's a good fighter though. Then you got Mario and Corey.
Mario, Corey, yeah, Mario's gonna win that one. Corey Stanton is like 30. He's like 40 years old, pretty much. But let me tell you the fighter who I'm looking forward to. He's an American fighter. Gable Stevenson, trained by John Jones, Olympic wrestler, heavyweight, stout of a machine.
That's a 6 o'clock.
Dog, I'm looking for out of all these fighters, I'm more looking forward to seeing Gable Stevenson and Conor McGregor's fight.
Yeah.
Those 2 fighters, like, I'm looking forward to seeing because Gable Stevenson is a heavyweight. He's going to change the heavyweight game. Like, remember that one heavyweight who fought at the Trump House, who said, he said, Michelle Obama is a man.
Yeah.
Like I believe Gable will whoop his ass in the first round. Just because Gable has cardio, right? He has hands. He's learning to throw hands. He's an Olympian. He is a fucking killer. And he's being trained by John Jones, man.
Yeah, that's scary.
So those are the 2 fighters I'm looking forward to seeing. Damn, they have Robert Whittaker fighting in prelims. Disrespect. They should have these 2 fighting in prelims. They got Whittaker. Maybe Whittaker just was the last minute guy. Okay, I can see that. Yeah, Whittaker is the last minute guy because Whittaker is the fucking beast from Australia. But okay, I see how. Okay, yeah. But yeah, I can't wait for this fight tonight. And then we're going to transition to the NIL Because there's a lot of shit going on, especially in high school, man. We get to the college part too, but high school is getting weird. I'm talking to people, I'm talking to family members, I'm talking to everybody how, oh, you didn't prepare your son. You might have to hold him back a year. I was like, why the fuck would I do that? Why would I hold my kid back a year to just so he can? Because a lot of parents don't do it. I'm more thinking of I'm just gonna have my kid if he's 10 years old. I'm gonna have him playing with 11 and 12-year-olds. I don't want him being held back. I want him to be competing with the older kid. Yeah, that's how you do it. You don't fucking hold your kid back a year. So this is what a lot of fucking kids are doing nowadays and shit. Mm-hmm. And I'll play this quick video. This was going on, and they call it 8th grade red shirting trend on the rise.
Carver Cancelleri is attending 8th grade a second time by choice.
8th grade, second time.
An extra year to work on both his academic skills and his athletic skills. 15-year-old Carter is part of a growing trend of young athletes reclassing.
It's for students that are currently in 8th grade, and they get an additional year of middle school to delay their start of high school. Once you start high school, you have a 4-year clock, academically and athletically.
Michael Hatcher started the elite.
All those parents that's holding back their kid, they just dated them twice. They don't turn their kids into sex offenders. Soon as they turn 18, they gonna be 18 years old as a fucking junior in high school. If you know, we were young, we had a good time in high school and all this shit. You have, you know. All of these kids gonna turn into sex offenders, dude.
So, I mean, why do you say that though? So you're saying
Because they're holding their kids back, man. Like, there's no point in even doing this shit, man.
so is there a limit on how many times you can hold your kid back?
It looks like there's no limit. I think it's by
Because he was a 15-year-old coming back for another year in 8th grade.
Yeah.
I think by 15, I was a sophomore?
Yeah.
High school, right?
Yeah.
So that's scary.
That is weird.
That is weird. I get trying to give your kid a competitive advantage when it comes to academics or sports.
That is so.
But it's like holding your kid back in grade school. It's just like, no. It's like, no. That's what.
And then you're gonna turn your kids into sex offenders.
I don't even have any words for it. It's just why no. Like,
Dog, you know how many Chris Hansen videos that's gonna be at the high school? Chris Hansen gonna show up to these fucking high schools to the kids. It's like, sit over here, son.
yeah.
What brought you here today? And the kid gonna be like, I'm still in high school. It's like, no. You are here. You was chatting up with this young 15-year-old kid, and you are 18-year-old junior.
Yeah.
What brought you here today?
Yeah. The whole thing doesn't make any sense to me. I get it. Trying to give your kid a competitive advantage, but
Chris
I
Hansen,
mean, that's, you shouldn't be doing that.
it's stupid, man. But this is different than being, okay, if your kid sucks, right? And you put your kid through this 8th grade racial and bullshit, right? But this compared to that one kid at North South. This kid who was just, okay, I'll move to a different state. I'm still going to be in the same grade. I'm going to be normal, just like, I'm going to be a 17-year-old senior, like normal kids. Most of these kids will travel to different states to play. But here's a video of, what's that kid from Nebraska who transferred to North South?
Trey Taylor.
Trey Taylor. I'll play off this one real quick.
Rain and look at my episode. Why are we here? I'm like, we're wasting our time at in Nebraska. We left there. It's all like, bro, like this is like a top school for me. And then it just like got kind of like A&M, LSU, and Nebraska. And I was like, A&M kind of came in late, like Nebraska and LSU. And then just kind of went from there. Most people don't understand. A&M is supposed to have the most money of the college football. Like, they must get them to help it almost. So it's like, that really just shows the love that Nebraska got. Like, they must get them to help it almost.
So
Devontay
here,
is making more money than Drake May.
yep. So here you've got a college kid making more money than an NFL quarterback,
Wow.
which is crazy. And so, going back to that video that you're playing, I think a lot of these parents are catching on to this. Like, hey, if I keep my kid in grade school, develop him, then maybe he can get a better NIL contract.
You can develop your kid. Look, let me tell you fucking dumb, crazy, stupid parents out there. If you really want your kid to be great, you don't hold him back 2 fucking years to compete. You want your kid to be young. Let's say he's 8, 9 years old. You want him playing with 11 and 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds. Get his ass whooped. Learn the speed. It's about the speed. It's not about strength. If your kids can adjust to the speed of the game, your kid will be fine no matter how big or small he is. Look at athletes like Steph Curry. Small, but fast and quick. But he can shoot. You gotta think about all these little athletes and shit, how they compete and shit. Like that one receiver from Miami. That what's the number 10 or whatever? Or no, he plays for Miami. He was a 17-year-old kid who's starting for Miami, who went to the college football championship.
Yeah.
The little young dude with the dreads and shit.
Yeah.
17 years old playing the college football player.
And he was killing.
And you know why he was killing? Because his whole entire life he was playing with older kids. He wasn't held back. He wasn't fucking, I'm gonna hold my kid back 2 years so he can compete with. No, you don't do that fucking shit to your kid, man. And like I said, if you want to do that, you're gonna turn your kid into another Chris Hansen video. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yep. So I mean, NIL was designed to compensate college athletes for their name, image, and likeness, and I think this has gotten out of control. You've got Ohio State. I think last year they had a $20 million roster. I think I saw there where Miami or LSU had a $40 million roster. So it's kind of crazy that these college kids are not getting paid more than pro athletes. I don't think it's great for the game. I mean, you've had, legends like Nick Saban go in front of Congress and
You say you gotta stop this. It's like it's gonna fucking.
well, and not only that, but you're seeing all these great coaches leave college sports, Roy Williams, Nick Saban, right? I mean, they're just tired of this, and like these players don't care about developing anymore. They're just going to whoever's going to cut them the biggest.
Who's the parents too?
And I get that, these guys deserve to get paid, but I think when you're that young, you should focus on development and getting your education, and then the pros. If you're that valuable, if you're that good of an athlete, then you're gonna get paid. You know what I'm saying? But
forcing your kid, holding him back, and all.
It's not only that, but it's like when I hope these kids have good advisors around them, because when you give a young kid that,
the parents. Did you hear Nick Saban's stories and shit? How he and shit. He'll be talking to the parents. He said it's not the same anymore when you're talking to his parents. The parents are worried about how much their kid getting paid. How much are you gonna pay my kid? Mm-hmm. They don't talk about school. They don't talk about their future. They don't talk about. He's like, dog. Parents are more worried about money than worried about their kids' future. This is because it's like Nick Saban wants to build kids into like after football, because football isn't a lifelong thing. It's gonna end. The last thing you want to do is when it ends, you're gonna commit a crime, you're gonna do something stupid, and then everybody in the world gonna call you CTE because you have no goals and plans after football.
Yeah,
and that's what
it's so dangerous. Like I said, when you give an 18-year-old $1 million, when you give an 18-year-old that kind of money, and they're not educated on how to grow that money, how to invest that money, how to perpetuate that, for the next generation, it's a recipe for disaster, because a lot of even these young players that go into the NFL, they end up broke, right? Yeah. Because they've got a bunch of leeches. Oh, remember what I did for you back in junior high? Send me $20,000. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got all these people asking for handouts, and I really hope these players have good advisors around them, because
it's good parents. Yeah, because always start with the parents. Because the parents is the one that's, they raise the kid all their life. So do the kids have good morals and understanding?
Well, not only that, but it's like you go to college for the experience, right? Yeah. I mean, you remember being 18 years old, stepping foot on campus, and, forming that bond over 4 years with your teammates, right?
Yeah.
That's an experience you only get one time in life, right? And you're going to make money, you're going to get paid, you're going to become a professional, even if it's not in sports. But just the whole experience of going to college and being around the same people and trying to get better for 4 years,
Yeah.
that's something you can't get back in life, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
So
So,
you can get back in line. You can't, man. And college is fun.
yeah.
And I always tell them, like, have your kid go to college for 1 year at least,
Mhm.
and then see how it goes. If he doesn't like it, go in trade school, start business or whatever. Just, but at least get 1 year experience.
Mhm.
But me, how I'm gonna raise my kid, that's why, you involved in story. He gonna be involved for sure, and be good role models on. So when it comes to our kids getting an opportunity, if they have the opportunity, and when they reach that goal, and then so next thing you know, we have fucking college coaches coming over to try to recruit, whatever. Yeah, we'll give you this much money. Like you choose a school, I prefer my kid to go to a red state, be honest with you. I don't want him going to Chicago, Illinois. I don't want him going to Oregon.
Would you have Luka play for like a Deion Sanders?
Man. Nah, people on Colorado crazy, man.
Yeah.
I love Deion, but my kid ain't going to no blue state, man. I'm sorry, man. He'll go to Texas or anywhere else.
It could change. Who knows? That's 18 years from now.
That's true, man. It could change. That's true.
That's kind of crazy to think about, but
That's true.
you're getting old, man.
We can just end it with this, man.
Yeah. But that's all we got for you guys today. We appreciate you jumping on another podcast with us.
Yeah.
Please don't forget to like and subscribe. That helps us invest more into this podcast and giving you guys a great experience. So thanks again. And bye-bye.
Yep. And also, don't worry, guys. We're gonna have microphones. We're gonna have everything so you can hear us clearly. So, we grown. We trying to, this is like 4 episodes in, but this is more like getting the bondage of the yin and yang and shit. We try to build a structure here. We're learning, but that's how. When you first start something, it's gonna be wobbly. It's gonna be, not perfect. But in the future, as weeks and months and years go by, who knows where we'll be at, man.
We elevate every day.
Elevated.
Peace.
It's a good one.